In our last video, we discussed profitability framework, which is one of the most widely asked frameworks in any interviews you see. And we discussed the revenue side of disintegration of this framework. And today we'll just continue our discussion and discuss the cost side of disintegration for this framework. Now, let's say profits are going down, so revenue either might be decreasing and cost increasing, a rare case where revenue is increasing at a lower rate and cost is increasing at a higher rate, or double whammy, revenue is going down, cost is increasing. Okay, so these are some of the cases. You can yourself do some permutation combination and ask me if you have any doubt in the chat. Now, on the left side, you're seeing revenue related disintegration. Now I'll be doing on right side the similar way. And once this whole diagram is complete, you can just take a screenshot of it and use it for your study purposes. If you can maybe take a printout and paste it somewhere and look at it every day, it will become really easy for you to remember these things. And these things are pretty standard. They are taught in most of the B schools. So yeah, I mean, if you already have access to it, well and good. If you don't, take this screenshot. It will go a long way. It will make it much easier to remember. Okay, so what consists of cost? What does the cost consists of? So first and foremost is COGS. This is one of the most widely used uh, term which you'll find, and the early or the sooner you uh, get at peace with this term, the better it will be. So I'll not be going into details of COGS right now because it is a complex topic of its own, but I'll give you some flavor of it, and maybe you can Google and still come back if you guys need an explanation of on COGS and other variables which I'm going to mention right now. Then maybe I'll do a separate video for that. Okay. So first is COGS. COGS is basically the cost of goods sold, and some high level some high level disintegration of COGS I'll do directly here. So cost is basically whatever price is going into making a good and selling it. Now, one of the driver is direct labor, like whatever labor is uh, used to make that product. Now, we'll not go into nuances of what about the companies who produce the products themselves and what about the companies who are just merchandisers. So they are handled in certain way. Maybe I'll be explaining it once I take a concept session on COGS. For now, it is good enough to know that direct labor goes into COGS, direct material cost goes into COGS, and one of the other thing that goes into COGS is operations overheads. Okay. Now why is it appearing this way? Just let me convert it. Yeah. Operations overheads. And so basically direct labor and direct material are pretty evident, but operation overheads I'll disintegrate a bit more. So it is basically your plant depreciation if you have a plant, or let's say if you have some office spaces and all those things, then utilities, sorry, maybe the rent of the spaces, and if you are using some common utilities which cannot be earmarked to a specific product being produced, rather which is used by the all the product lines, then those utilities will also come here in overheads. If you are using some machinery, let's say, then let's say you are producing pen, Then machinery uh, related depreciation will also come here. And yeah, I think on a very high level, these four are good to get an understanding. But of course, we can like go into depths of each of these and understand why and how it constitutes, like it is a part of COGS. Okay. Now, COGS is one thing which constitutes cost. Second is SG&A. You'll also hear about this SG&A. So SG&A means nothing but cost incurred in selling, general and administrative activities. So all your promotions, marketing promotions, and everything comes under SG&A, and also all your like administrative stuff will also come here under SG&A. I think this is too big. I'll just make it smaller. Cool. Now, after SG&A, the next thing that comes is marketing cost. So this will constitute of your brand management related things. So although you are not running sales promotions, but you always spend some money on your brand, basically to tackle this part, making aware, right? So you would see like all over the year you'll see Coca-Cola related ads, or let's say Tanishq ads. So they are building brand. Every ad may or may not result in a direct sales, and even if it is resulting in some sales, direct attribution might or might not happen, but they are going in the background. So these are all the marketing activities. Now the next thing that can come in here is R&D cost. Now R&D cost is a very peculiar case. Why I say this? Because some of the industries are very R&D heavy, and this is a major driver of cost. And just to give an example, pharmaceutical is one of those industries, pharma industries. So in pharma industries, if you are aware, you basically invest in R&D on an ongoing basis. And let's say you are investing in 10 products in R&D, the chances are maybe only like out of 10, one or two product will make to the market, because the rules are very stringent there, right? And that is why once you introduce some product in the market which is like a totally new product, you get, I think, 2 years or 3 years waiver, when, or I think even more time, when nobody can use your uh, method and produce the same medicine and sell. So you get that time, and once that expired, all the generic medicines come into place. So this is one of the industry where R&D cost is very high. And similarly, if you see automotive industries also, their R&D cost is very high, but they have a bigger chance of making to the market. So whatever they do R&D on, most of the times they are able to make to the market, right? So this is about R&D cost. There are other costs too. Uh, so let's say other costs like interests. So if like there are lease payments happening for the facilities or anything, so interest cost might be there, as well as, let's say, sometimes what companies do is they take funds from banks, and from for those funds they have to pay interests on a regular basis, and those interests can come here. And I'm sorry, the facilities related whatever I said, lease payments, that will not come here, that will go under COGS and operations overhead. So yeah, that will go under rents here. So apologies for that. And apart from interest, taxes too. So taxes are a major cost, and most of the time when you are reviewing, let's say, balance sheet and everything, then having a look at tax does help, because that basically gives you an understanding of whether the companies are paying their taxes on time, or they're getting waiver because of their working in a certain industry, or maybe the taxes are piling up and companies are just like showing some profit on their books by delaying tax payment and all those things. So that is how cost is disintegrated. So I hope it is clear till now, and maybe with the help of one case, we'll be discussing this whole profitability framework in one go. So I'll just bring this whole framework in one single tab, so that if you want, you can take a screenshot and keep it. So yeah, this is how it is looking. And comment in the chat if you have any like doubts or something. I'll be more than happy to uh, either answer it myself, or at least uh, like direct you to a link where you can get more pointed answers. So awesome. So I think this looks good, and you can take a screenshot. And thank you for bearing with me, and uh, looking forward to doing more sessions like this. Okay, thank you.